Going on, family? Welcome back. OPA to OPM. We got another great episode for you. I got my brother Arthur Wills here, accountant, financial advisor. What's going on, Brody?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm your boy Kill. I'm here with my two co-hosts.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Alex, another great one.
What's going on? This is Day Mill.
Yes, sir. So, brother, what made you want to become an accountant and financial advisor?
What made me want to be an accountant? I think I kind of like fell in love with numbers as a kid. Like long division. Staying after class with my teacher to always, figure out math problems and stuff like that. And then once I got to college, I kind of like started taking accounting classes. And then from there, it was like, wow, like I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know anybody even had accountants. I didn't know accounting was a job, for one. So I started getting into it, and I understand that accountants are like the backbones of every business. So when I understood that, I'm like, wow, this can be kind of profitable. Like if I could be the accountant for any business in the country, like, and that also gives me more like variety of different type of places to work, like as far as like areas and any job market, because every industry need an accountant. So once I had that realization, I thought that was the path to go, honestly.
So, why become an accountant? Why start a business as an accountant? Now, why not go work for another company or industry?
Well, I say that you need to first learn. So you should start off working under like a CPA firm, or like you should like work under as like maybe a accountant assistant, or maybe like a clerk. Like you need to get your foot kind of wet type of thing. So I would say it's always good to kind of like start in like the job market, like the 9-to-5 jobs and stuff like that, because you gotta get the experience. You need to learn how to talk to people. You need to learn how to deal with different situations that you can't get from a book. Like I'm talking about real life situations. So that's why I say you should start off in the workforce and then kind of like venture off, because again, being an accountant ain't easy. Like you need to have the time to work on people projects as well as your personal life. So I say that you need to do both. It's not rather do one or the other. You need to first start off in the regular job market and then try to do your own thing, because starting off doing your own thing first, for one, is not that profitable because no one's going to trust you. No one's going to trust you to handle their finances. No one's going to trust you to do their bookkeeping if you've never done it for anyone else. So I think the experience is like the biggest thing. And once you have the experience, then you can move on and start your own practice.
So real quick, just for context, because when most people hear accountant, bookkeeper, CPA, CFP, any of these things, they either get nervous, timid, or bored. Why should someone care about an accountant, or why should someone care about these things? Because it's like, all right, I make X amount of dollars. As long as I don't overspend that, I should be good.
It's called the Letterman.
What's that?
The letter guys. They they got 3 letters.
The alphabet boys.
Yeah, the alphabet boys. I call it the letter guys. It's just kind of like for people to understand. But yeah, the alphabet boys. That's why. Mm-hmm. Once you understand what those alphabet boys do, you'll start realizing how important accounting is.
And when you say alphabet boys, you mean the IRS?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. absolutely. Once you
them 3-letter agencies.
Yeah. Once you learn about those guys, you'll start understanding the value in your accountant.
Okay.
And I say that you understand the value of your accountant because of taxes. Right. Like once you understand like that you have to pay taxes on your income, then you understand that you can't just be making all this money and you just making all this money. You gotta understand that you have to pay your tax to the land. You know what I'm saying? We don't own anything here. So if you want to make money here, you gotta pay tax here. So if you want to understand your taxes, you probably want to hire an accountant. And that's basically just, managing your books, managing how much money you're making, so you're taking out enough for taxes. Mm-hmm. And also if you have like employees, because then you have like your payroll taxes and like your FICA taxes, which is, your Medicare and Social Security, like those type of things. And I bring that up because everyone wants to have employees. Everyone wants to have this big giant business. But understand that if you ain't just working with contractors and you want to actually have employees and have certain type of like benefits for your employees, like unemployment, people want to just like have contractors understand, like, once you fire that guy has to go out here and figure out on his own. If you hire someone as a W-2, now they have unemployment insurance. Stuff like that is actually looking out for your employees. So that's the value in your accountant, because I look out for your people.
Well, my fault to cut you off, but accounting's expensive. Why not just go to HR Block?
You go to H&R Block, but then you're not getting that one-on-one. You're not getting that personal relationship. H&R Block, you can go there and get one service. You kind of meet. We're together for a lifetime. You understand? So you really got to see the value in the person that doing your books. Because H&R Block has 300,000 people that's probably going to them on a daily basis. Kudos to them. But me, I'm local. I don't have 3,000 people. I can manage you. Mm-hmm. I can manage the people that's coming to me. H&R Block may not make you a priority. You'll be a priority to me. And you'll be a priority to anyone that's an accountant. So don't ever shy away from going to the local smaller guys, because they probably have more time to put into your business.
I got a quick question, because Alex asked you a quick question about people who are nervous about accountants. But he said they for things like CPAs, bookkeepers, tax accountants, CFPs, and things like that. A lot of people who are new to entrepreneurship don't know the difference between any of these things. Like, I'm be honest with you, I'll be forthright. Like, I struggle with what are the difference between these positions?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For one, a CPA is licensed. Mm-hmm. A bookkeeper is probably someone who's freelancing.
And what do each role does? Like, what are they responsible for?
So most of the time, your CPA is responsible for your taxes. CPA is probably mostly responsible for everything under the accounting scope. So for most businesses, you have an accounting department. At the top of your accounting department is probably a CPA. Right. And then under your CPA, you probably have like junior accountants. And those junior accountants are probably dealing with like your accounts receivable. Those junior accountants are probably dealing with accounts payable. Accounts receivable is money that you're going to receive later. So say if you pay me for a service, but you say, hey man, I got to pay you next month, but I'm going to write on this statement saying I'm going to sign it, saying I'm going to pay you next month. Now, in my books, I have an accounts receivable for this payment. So you have, junior accounts working on stuff like that.
So Klarna. So like Klarna is like, all right, I'm going to get the money to you a little bit later. Like pay now, pay later kind of thing.
Yeah, so that would fall under accounts receivable.
Okay.
So there's actually
net 30s and net 60s.
Net 30, net 60. Net
exactly.
90.
So those all follow under accounts receivable. Mm-hmm. And then on the back end of that, for the person that's paying, which is you that's paying me,
right?
That's the accounts payable. So there's a department called accounts payable that's going to pretty much make sure that everything that you're saying that you're supposed to pay, all the contracts that's supposed to be paid, all the servicemen that's supposed to be paid, they're making sure that those payments are being paid. Mm-hmm. They don't go over 30 days. They don't go over 60 days. There's a department for that. Mm-hmm. So when you say what the difference is between the roles, those are different roles. You have accounts receivable roles, you have accounts payable roles, you have people that only work on taxes. So then when you talk about bookkeeping is a little separate. Bookkeeper is something that you deal with on a month-to-month basis. And this month-to-month basis is consistent of like, your profit and losses. Okay. And your profit and losses can be a statement, so this is essentially your revenue from all your services and all your income, minus your expenses, and then you have your net income. And that's mainly what bookkeepers work on. Mm-hmm. So, and as well as like, reconciling your bank statements, things like that. So there actually is plenty of roles under the accounting field, whether it's payroll, so it can get pretty vast. Okay. And it's actually dealing with everything you have to do. Even on the marketing team, you might need an accountant just for the marketing team. Mm-hmm. You might need an accountant just for like the brand ambassadors. Like there should be accountant involved in every process of your business.
Let's say somebody's getting into business tomorrow, and they get QuickBooks set up because that's just what they see. They're just like, oh, QuickBooks, all right, cool, and they don't have the most amount of money coming in. Is it necessary for that person to have to worry about a thing like an accountant and a bookkeeper? Or is it something where it's just like, I get to it when I start making money?
It's definitely important to think about it when you first start your business. Absolutely. Like, because again, taxes. If you plan on making money, you plan on paying taxes. So you need to talk to an accountant regarding that. Now, hiring an accountant when you first start your business, now that may be something that you want to like reconsider or possibly not do because it is expensive and you haven't made no money yet. But what I do advise you to do is talk to a financial advisor and get like a financial plan. Because maybe in your financial plan, 3 months from now, I want to hire an accountant, or a year from now, you want to hire an accountant. Just make sure that accountant is in your plan. Don't just like eliminate him from the plan. Like it's something that you kind of could work around and like, do your own, but make sure you have an accountant on your plan because he actually knows things that can help you.
That's dope. I see. When we got started in the interview, like we really just jumped into it, but I really want to know, like, who are you and where did you grow up and why did you want to be an accountant?
Shoot, man, I'm Arthur. I'm from Maryland.
Okay.
Look, man, like I see the value in like the lack of knowledge out here.
Right.
So like, it's a lot of people that don't understand like accounting. It's like a foreign language to them. You can show someone a tax form, a 1040 is an individual tax form. You can put that tax form right here in front of somebody, and they're gonna think it's like what am I looking at? But it's in English. It's telling you line by line what each line is, adding up a total at the bottom. Like I think there's no like urgency to learn about this type of stuff, and that kind of like it puts me in a space where like, wow, man, I wanna put the message out there. I want to make it cool to be an accountant. I want to make it like a thing to seek this information because how many people want to wait to the end of the year to get a refund check? And my thing is like, why are you planning for one time to get this lump sum of money? You can have an accountant that can actually manage your money so you can get those lump sum money throughout the year. You can actually plan to go on vacation when you want. You only plan to go on vacation because you're getting this money at a certain amount of time. That's not okay. Right. I'm trying to teach people to just plan your life out so you can do it when you want to. Right. Yeah.
Okay, you said something about like my fault to keep asking questions. Yeah. But you said something about like you said a sheet of paper. A lot of people wouldn't know how to read this.
The 1040.
Yeah, like a 1040. But even just any accountant sheet, like a lot of people don't know how to read it. And I like that's got something to me that I've been thinking about. Like people don't know like math and accounting. It's a language. Like a lot of people want to learn like French or Mandarin, all these different languages around the world, like literature languages. But math is a language in itself.
It's a universal language.
It's a universal language as well. And so a lot of us, like especially Black, brown kids, like we don't grow up learning how to read and talk in math. Can you speak on that?
Absolutely, man. Like it's not a necessity. Well, the necessity is to listen and follow directions, and those type of teachings can hinder you,
right?
Because if you only know about listen and do as you're told, that means no one's telling you that you're actually supposed to pursue different ideas as well. So like it does create a box when you're a child when you only learn about 5 things,
right?
Like, and you learn about these 5 things all the way up until the end of high school. And what are those 5 things? Reading, math, social study, science, and health. You understand?
You learn math, but it's not the math that you're going to use as an adult.
I'm talking about accounting, and math. Those are 2 different things. And math is involved in accounting, but when I talk about accounting, I'm talking about financial statements. I'm talking about profit and loss. I'm talking about accounts receivable. I'm talking about accounts payable. I'm talking about payroll. Yeah. That's what when I say accounting, math, algebra.
Yeah, exactly.
Trigonometry.
Exactly.
I find value in like the life skills. Like these are life skills, the accounting thing. Like the math is going to help you pass the test. I'm trying to help you save money on your mortgage or something, because I'm going to put you in a position to know what your value is. If you think that you're just supposed to go out here and buy a $500,000 house and pay whatever they tell you to pay, that's on you. But if you know something about interest rates, you know something about how much money you bring in compared to how much money you're spending. It's a mindset. You're never gonna want to spend more than what you're gonna make.
Right.
So creating that type of mindset is where I'm trying to influence. I'm not trying to influence people to do anything besides that. People need to be aware of their spending. People need to be aware of planning out their year instead of planning out the day. Like, I'm putting that into the air. So, yeah.
So, if someone was looking to, become an accountant, what avenues or what would you advise them to do? Like, step 1 through 10. Like, how would you advise them?
Step 1 is to first get familiar with the Circuit 230. Just get familiar with that. Get familiar with the IRS publications. I would say just get familiar with that. And once you get familiar with that, then I would definitely recommend, looking up the requirements for a CPA exam and then start studying. And then from there, once you start studying, I advise you to, probably try to find some type of internship, get some experience. And then through that experience, leverage your time so you can actually take the test for the CPA. And then I think that you're good from there. Being an accountant is hard. Being consistent is hard. Being an accountant is not hard. Being consistent is hard.
Right.
Not my bad. Like, being consistent is very hard. You know why? Because who wants to do the same thing every day? I do. And that's why I separate myself from everyone else. That's why I want to create more avenues and more lanes so people can find me. Like, I truly think that the message I'm trying to put out here can help my community. It's just like people gotta see it.
What is something that you would say? Because we're talking about the education piece, right? Your main thing is to educate and inspire. When it comes to someone who's like, all right, cool, maybe I need an account, maybe I need a bookkeeper, but there's a ton out there. How do they separate and figure out what's a good one and what's not a good one? Because I've had a CPA myself.
Okay.
Right? Smart guy. I try to be. But even still, my CPA ended up messing me over. And now I'm having to go back and backtrack and a lot of stuff like that. And a lot of people have a lot of sour taste put in their mouth because they're like, oh, my such and such, I had to pay hundreds of dollars for this service and it didn't work out that well. And he ended up having to owe a lot of money in taxes and stuff like that. So how do you kind of figure out who's good and who's not so good?
I definitely say referrals. I think referrals is like the number one thing, like referrals. Like someone either recommends you to this accountant, just looking up an accountant online, make it seem like, all right, I don't know what he can do. But at the same time, I think referral is my answer to that. Someone that that had worked with them and all right, they did good work with you, so they should do good work with me. That's what I think. That's my answer.
Okay, now I have a question for that. You say referrals, but what if you're a brand new accountant and you don't have anyone to refer you? So how do you get that work to begin with to build those referrals?
See, and now that's where the experience comes in. If I don't have any referrals, I'll tell you where I've been working and the type of people I've been working for, and then that I build off of their background.
Okay.
Like, so the CPA firm I work for, I would recommend that you visit that CPA firm and look at their work and then come back and say, okay, Arthur, you know what? I just read all their past financial statements. I just looked at all the clients that they've been working with. I definitely want to work with you now. So
in other words, you leverage their credibility.
Absolutely. Like, come
Absolutely. Getting other people's audience.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
How you guys feel about that? Leveraging your audience.
Oh no, we love it. That's why it's called OPA to OPM. Other people's audience to other people's money. It's all about leverage, baby.
Understand.
Start writing my closing statement down.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good thing that you mentioned that, because at the end of the day, it's like you're able to leverage the company who's built their reputation for 15, 20, 30, 40 years and say, look, they obviously wouldn't hire me if they didn't deem me as credible. And now that they hired me, I have to abide by their rules. I have to abide by their policies, procedures, how they go about things, their SOPs, and the way that they go about, their thought process. And I get to extend that to you as a CPA or an accountant or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you're really able to magnify what it is that you're doing to then get that initial client base. But then once you get that, it's more about nurturing. So how, as an accountant, because again, most people are just like, oh, well, I pay this accountant $200, $300, $400 one time, and that's it. I don't think I should need to see them again. Is that true, or is that something that's an ongoing relationship?
I do want to touch on one thing, like with the last point. It's just like getting a new job. This new job essentially like a new client. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a resume. So I'm using my resume from my past job experiences to get me a new job. Same thing with new client. I'm going to show you my resume of who I work with to bring you on. And now to answer your question, it's so I start with just a plan. We do the plan, and that's the first thing. If you want to follow that plan, let's follow the plan. The next step in the plan is maybe, okay, let's reconcile for the month. All right, let's do that. All right, so in 3 months from now, let's make sure that we did the same thing you want to do 3 months from now. And now guess what? 3 months has came. It's been a quarter. Now we need to look at the quarter statements for the year. Most people don't understand that corporate businesses break down their business by 4 quarters a year. So once we get to that 3 months, then I know, all right, man, let's we got quarter 1 down. So let's go to quarter 2. Let's go to quarter 3. Let's go to quarter 4. Well, now we have quarter 4. Let's get prepared for taxes. Now we did taxes. Guess what? Now let's do our annual compliances, which is annual reports. Most states, you have to file an annual report of your income for the year. Now you have your annual reports. Now guess what? We have employees. Now we got to send out 1099s. Now or send out W-2s. Now we also have to make sure that we actually are documenting the proper payroll taxes for our employees, and then submitting 940s. So just a little nugget. If you're a corporate business out here, you're supposed to be submitting 940s every quarter. It's just so like it's a lot to do. So it's not just a one-time service. It's all about how invested you are into your business. Because I could scale out your business to run efficient, to have a full-scale account department in your business. It's up to you if you want that much. If you just want a bookkeeper, I'll just be a bookkeeper. If you just want me to help you out with a financial plan, let's do that. If you want me to just go over your bank statements to make sure that you spending the right, you're not overly spending, I could do that too. But if you need someone to be your accountant, hired on a yearly basis, we can also do that. So how I explain it to my services, we break it down by daily, break it down by weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And then you tell me which of these services you want, and then we create packages for you. So that's just to get this. So just kind of like diving in on my own personals.
So another thing I wanted you to touch on is what caused a shift in your mindset to know that, all right, there's more to this than just numbers or math, because I know that's what inspired you to want to become an accountant. And then also, like, what made you want to start educating the Black and brown community?
Shoot, man, the first part of your question, I got screwed over with my own finances from someone that I trusted. Well, I ain't trust, from someone that I thought knew what they were doing. And honestly, man, for me, it's not that person didn't know what they was doing. It's that person didn't educate me on what was going on. Like, oftentimes you pay someone for a service, whether it be like, bookkeeping, taxes, payroll, whatever it is, but you don't know what they did. So my thing was like, why didn't he explain to me what was going on? Because if I go get a burger, they're gonna tell me everything on that burger. If I get my car clean, they're gonna tell me everything they use to clean my car. If I go anywhere, they're gonna break it down. But for some reason, when it comes to like accounting and finances, people don't ever explain it. They don't ever break it down. They don't ever tell you how it works. So I just found like that was just amazing to me. That no one ever talks about it. Then I realized that it wasn't that no one talked about it, it's because no one knew. No one knew what it was. No one even thought about it because there was nothing to think about. And when I say no one, I'm talking about people in my community. Of course, there are people that do know. I'm just not part of that community. So I realized that my community doesn't know. So I wasn't going to be selfish and move over to a community that does know, which would benefit me, because why would I not want to be around people that know what I know? No, I want to help. I want to be the solve to the problem. Like, I'm not trying to like create these generational curses that we've had over these years. Like, once I realized that it was a lack of education in like accounting and finances, then I kind of like took it personal. Cause like, man, I don't know what anyone else's purpose out here is, but my purpose out here is to help. My purpose out here is to educate. Like, yeah, I want to make money, but like, man, like we gotta get somewhere as a race. I mean, excuse me, as a community. So yeah,
as a race too. As a race too.
I was going to say that's a good point because we've seen stories like Steve Harvey and Mary J. Blige where their personal financial person or their accountant or whoever, Fat Joe, right? They didn't know what was going on, and because of that, they're just like, "Am I good? Yeah, all right, cool, we good then." But then that person was going behind their back and doing things, and now this person is on the hook for the actions of their accountant or whoever their financial person is.
And for more clarification on what Alex is talking about, so Fat Joe, Steve Harvey, they had an accountants, right?
Okay.
And so they thought that those accountants were paying off their tax bills at the end of the year.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so, but they weren't. So those accountants were actually stealing money from them.
Wow.
And so just because you're ignorant of what's going on, the IRS doesn't care about that your ignorance.
They absolutely don't.
They want to know, okay, they were stealing, okay, but where's our money? And so if you don't have a good answer for them, they're going to lock your ass up.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to Fat Joe. Steve Harvey, I think Steve Harvey was able, because he talked about it in InvestFest. Shameless plug on that one, but it is what it is. Shout out EYL. And so he was able to negotiate something with the IRS. And so he was able to avoid jail. But yeah, so just because you think your accountant is doing something, you always got to, double check, and especially with your freedom and your money isn't involved.
Yeah.
And if your accountant steals from you, I mean, there's no way to get that money back.
Yeah.
So
that almost, I wouldn't say it was happening to me, but I had last year, I had an accountant, right? And had I not known, like you said, could have got screwed over very easily. And because I caught it early-ish, it was like, no, we're going to cut this off, right? Cut this relationship because it's not going where I needed to go. And the reason I say that is because my taxes weren't filed. I gave them all the documentation in September. And then when I got everything else in January, February, gave it to them already there electronically. And when my taxes weren't done in May, I'm like, yo, we got an issue. Why are my taxes not done by now?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, well, we got to do this and we got to do that. And he just kept spinning me week after week after week after week, and month after month. And it got to the point where I'm like, yo, what's the holdup? And he's like, well, you wanted depreciation, so that's throwing this stuff off because I had a house, or I have a house.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like, oh, well, now we got to rearrange all this other extra stuff. And it's like, again, it's when you don't have somebody on your side to show you what a good job is, to walk you through the process, to say, this is why we're taking these actions. You need to know this because if you don't take your finances serious, nobody else will. So I'm here to educate you. And it's very rare to come across somebody who's in the financial space who's willing to take those extra steps, because to talk to somebody who's like ignorant, and not to me in like the meaning way, but lack of knowledge definition.
Yeah, so ignorant.
Right. It's 2024. Somebody who doesn't know, and you're trying to educate them, they're just like, you're throwing a lot of words, a lot of numbers, and a lot of things, and a lot of forms at me. Can't you just do it? And it's like, no, you need to know this. This is your finances. This is your livelihood. This is your estate, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and thank you, because it's not often that like people show appreciation for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because again, man, people just want the job done. Like you said, they just want to pay you and get it done. Like, I it's enjoyment I get when people ask questions, because that means you're trying to learn. Like, how often do people just do? Like, bro, when you ask questions, that's reinsurance for me that you want to actually do this. When you want to, when I explain something to you and you say, okay, and then next week I got to explain it again, I love it. You know why? Because we're building a relationship. That means you're going to help the next person. I see the value in that. So, yeah, man, I just want to, really bring more people to my platform and help people, like create the small routines. Like you gotta have the small routines done early. Like you gotta already be pulling your bank statements every month. You gotta already be knowing what expenses you're supposed to be spending this month. And if you got those things under wraps, that's kind of half the battle. For me, at least. For someone who just get into their finances, if you're actually going back to you're going back and checking on what you've done just in the past month, you're doing good already. People go the whole year and then ask someone about their finances. And like that can hinder you. It hinders people. It hinders people so much, especially when they have loans, especially when they want to actually get a loan. Like, come on now. People don't even understand that if you want a loan, you got to show some type of history of paying something back. If you haven't even noticed that you've been paying maybe your credit card bill late every month because you ain't know that your post date ain't posted on a certain date, you would never know. And guess what? Until someone tell you, your credit score gonna keep dropping, and you're not gonna be approved for the money that you want because you're not on top of your finances. So no, I'm not a credit guy. I'm just a accountability type of guy. You know, it's in the word accounting. Like it all flows into the same thing. Like so, the small routines that you do on a month-to-month basis, on a day-to-day, on a day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis, you should be aware of what you're spending. It should never be no frivolous spending. Like we're all grown here. Even if you're under 18, you should always understand the value of your money, because you shouldn't go out here and go get some Balenciagas when you're only making $1,000 a month. Like where's the business sense in that? Like where are you being profitable? Like you want to be profitable in your own life. Like who wants to just come out even every month? Oh yeah, I came out zero this month, but I ain't got to pay nobody, but I ain't got nothing coming in. Like no, you don't want to be like at the end of the year. You don't want to have to pay all this money in taxes just to get a refund back for the same amount of money you paid in taxes. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous because it's been going on for years and people ain't catch on to it yet. And when I say what's been going on, people have been struggling with debt and finances because they're choosing not to properly manage their money. They're choosing to. There's people out here that know how they got in their situations and just cool with it. They're just cool with it. I'm just gonna get another job and just, not worry about the debt. Oh, I'm making a certain amount of money and it's hard for me to save money, but I got a kid, so I'm worried about my kid. Well, guess what, buddy? Your kid is gonna have the same problems you have because you don't want to teach them. So that's where I stand on that.
So I got you kind of touched on it. So for someone who doesn't know how to manage their, especially for new entrepreneurs who don't know how to manage their money, who doesn't know how to record a profit and loss statement. So what should they be saving to give to you for tax time or for bookkeeping and things like that? Like what should they be doing? What are they responsible for, and what are you responsible for?
So for me, I base things off of how much work you want me to do. Okay. So however much work you want me to do, that's what I'm going to charge you on. If you want me, like I was explaining earlier, if you want me to just look over your bank statement, I'll charge you to look over your bank statement. If you want me to, run your payroll, then I'm going to charge you to run your payroll every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to explain to you what comes with running payroll. Yeah.
Nah, because I was going more so, I guess, I don't want to say necessarily play devil's advocate because I feel like it's a really good question, but I'm pretty sure you have clients that come to you. You say you're doing it based off of what they want, but how do you start to implement what they actually need? Because I'm pretty sure clients come to you saying, yeah, well, I was told maybe I need to do this or maybe I want this, but after you find out, all right, what their goals are or, what their financial plan or necessities might be, how do you then tell them what they need?
Every business is unique. Every business is unique. Let me start there. But the IRS publications and the accounting standards are the same. Now, there are new rules that what you can and can't do, and I just go about those rules. I don't have a certain standard for your industry. I don't have a certain standard for your industry. Each industry has to follow the same rules. So it's not like I'm customizing my services or it's not like I'm only doing a certain thing for one business that I'm not doing for another. I'm coming at every business with the same knowledge, and it's your choice to work with me. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not giving minimum anything. I'm giving you everything I got, and it's up to you to take on what you want. Because I got a lot to give, and I lay it all out. So you tell me how much you want, and we're gonna go from there. So that's how that works.
So what's the sauce? So when someone's trying to get right, before they get to the point where they can come to you, it's like, yo, I ain't making that much money. I'm just getting started. I'm just trying to, maintain a little bit I got. They might have a clothing business. They might got a plumbing business. They might got some where it's like, yo, I'm just getting started. I ain't got, $1,000 a month to be paying you to do these services. I ain't got $1,000 to pay for my taxes. I just need to get by. What services or platforms or softwares would you suggest or recommend somebody to just get their feet wet before they go big leagues and come to you and anywhere else?
You of course you could say like QuickBooks. You could start off there, but like,
is that for business or personal?
Oh well, for business. On the personal side, the first step you need to do so now that's two different avenues, business and personal. With business, I'm going to say you need to pay yourself. You can start there. Because most people, they just make money and you just forget to pay yourself. Like you think all the money is the profit. No, sir. The money is your wage. Whatever your wage is, which is probably $15 to $20 an hour, pay yourself that wage and pay yourself every week or every other week. And that way, that's a good start. Start paying yourself. So that's why I would tell any business out here, if you're trying to like kind of get involved in the accounting thing, like start paying yourself. And then that will start scaling you to understand, like, dang, I got to pay myself this much. Well, I can't spend this much on supplies because I still got to pay myself. And then you're going to have that mindset of like, all right, no matter what, if I have to pay someone, that means I got to see how profitable that person is. Since you work for your business, you know how profitable you are. So you're going to pay yourself what you're worth. Now, if you bring someone on your team, you got to understand what profit do they bring onto the team? How much can you actually spend on them? Like, how much does it cost to spend on that? What's the cost efficiency to have an employee or a contractor? Like, so another advice is whenever you're thinking about bringing someone onto your team, think about how much it would cost you to have them on your team. Like, don't just look at them like, okay, they can help me with this. No, people want to get paid. Like, I don't ever want to like get away from reality. Everyone want to get money. So don't have no one on your team that you can't take care of. So you understand the value in people. You got to have people skills. You got to have customer service skills. These are the things that like, keep that foundation. I think that's like a big thing for me. Like make sure you got a solid foundation, because I think once you learn enough from me, you can go off and do it on your own. And that's what I want. I'm not trying to spit no game to anyone. I want people to learn. I want you to be a better business. And what they say, spread your wings. You know what I'm saying? Like I just view things differently from most entrepreneurs. Like, it's not about a dollar. Like, I really want to help the community.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. I got anything else?
No, I think that kind of satisfies a lot, where it's just, at the end of the day, people know everything it is to be successful. We all know. The information is all out there of what it is to be successful. It's up to that person or you who is watching to then take this information, like you said, start paying yourself, start documenting what you have going on, start keeping receipts, start electronically filing things so that way you're not scrambling around trying to, okay, all right, let me get this receipt, right? So you can start sending PDFs off to your accountant and stuff.
Organization is big. Like, organization is big, making sure that you have everything in order. And when I say everything in order, having those receipts in order, having your, say if you have 10 contractors, You want to know everything about those contractors. You want to know their first and last name, their address, their cell phone number, emails, everything like that. You know why? Because you got to send them a 1099 at the end of the year. You don't want to just have people on your team and you don't know nothing about them. There's a reason to everything. So and when you speak on like being able to send documents by PDF, that too, man, having like on your computer, having certain files for each client or having certain files for each services. Like you used to get well versed in documenting things on like Excel. You need to get well versed in like learning how to manage like your file explorer, things like that. Like these are the small things. And I get it. It's very small. It's foundation. A lot of people don't even have a foundation. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people out here just working. You need to establish a foundation. You can make $100,000 a year, but guess what, bro? You don't know how to structure your business to move forward from there because you don't have no foundation. You just been working. You got to have something that's going to be solid. So then guess what? We can build some equity because that's the next step after this. I can't even go beyond like the routine and the finances and the taxes because people got to get that first. Once we understand that, then we can get to equity. Then we can understand how we can sell our business. Like that's the next step. But we gotta keep it here. We gotta keep it here because the masses need to understand the basics first.
But that is a dope subject to touch on how to scale and then sell your business. For sure.
Yeah, you should do a course on that.
Man, you know how many successful businessmen out here has sold their successful business to have another successful business? Exactly. That's the game. That's the real game. But like I don't try to get lost in that too much because again, I want you to actually build that Fortune 500 company. I want you to build it up to that. Like you gotta get there first, and then we can sail and and the sky's the limit from there, man. Like the sky's really the limit, man. You look at a lot of these companies, they change ownership every year. You know why? Because people want more money. Like, oh, I want to do this now. Or now I want to do this. Like, or you become partnerships in like that's just like that level is where you want to be. But you can't get there unless you don't have that foundation. You can't get there unless you ain't build that business up to something that's worthy enough for someone to buy or purchase from you. Like people want to sell their business. What for what? You don't even have consistent clients. You still out here calling people on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have reliable employees. Why would I want your business?
First of all, you can't sell your business if you don't have your bookkeeping in order. Because you can't even tell like what's the value of your business.
Exactly. Your business not you. I don't even know how profitable you are. You just said you made this amount of money, but you can't tell me how much money you spent. That's crazy. People are making all this money, but you can't tell me how much money you spent. You probably spent more or close to the amount of money that you made, but you don't know that because you don't have an accountant, or you not even your accountant because you're not paying attention to your finances on a month-to-month basis. Like it's keys to all this stuff, man, and you got to unlock the door to your business so you can grow and go to the next one. And buy another business. Like your specialty could just be buying businesses, but you can't buy a business if you don't know if this is a good business to buy.
Exactly.
Like come on, like I'm here to give game and I'm here to teach, but at the same time, bro, I don't want nobody to be naive to anything out here. Like I'm not naive to nothing. I just want people to understand how to, how to like read a business and understand your value and the steps to create value. So, yeah, man.
That's dope.
Where can if somebody's interested in like understanding more, like getting questions and stuff like that, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, because you have a lot of gems, bro.
Yeah. So you can reach me on Instagram, WGGTAX. So WGG Tax on Instagram, and then you can also reach me on YouTube, WGG Tax on YouTube, and then my email wggtax@gmail.com. Reach out to me, man.
Two things to close out. Real quick, just touch on your show.
Oh yes, all right, and also please tune in to Tax Talk Tuesday. We drop videos every Tuesday. We're here to influence our community and also bridge the gap between different industries to the accounting world to make you understand the relation between both. We tackled a lot of different industry, from automotive to hair to manufacturing clothes to nails, so we get pretty vast, and we got more guests coming on. So tune in, Tax Talk Tuesday, YouTube.
And then final question to close us out. I've been starting to ask this to a lot of people. Got them to answer it for me. Starting a business, what would you say was the number one thing you wish you would have known when you first started?
Number one thing I wish I would have known when I first started my business. Well, I wish I would have known I ain't had to use my own money.
Yep.
I wish I would have knew that.
And there you go. OVA,
go into that just a little bit before we close.
My bad. Yeah, go ahead.
You man, it's truly something you should look into. Business credit, loans, and I'm not saying this just to go and get it. If you really have a real business plan, it's something that you know is going to work, then take that risk. Like that risk is what's going to separate you from anybody else, because you did it.
Close this out, brother.
Yeah, I mean that's great. It's like the risk of scaling, and because everybody's so used to trying to take money from their job and then put it into the business, and then they realize, oh wait, I still got my life expenses that I got to deal with. I still got to pay for this, got to pay for that, childcare, this, that, and it's tough. Right, a lot of people are struggling, and as we go deeper and deeper into this recession, a lot of people are struggling to figure out how do they branch out and grow their business in a way that it's not going to break the bank, and it's something that they can still pay back, because those loans that you take out, you do have to pay those back. Mm-hmm. And I think that it would be remiss that people don't listen to this, like don't take the advice from this episode and really realize, like, yo, you need to have the bookkeeper, because and the accountant and the financial planner and all these people, because we take our health serious, we take our life serious. You got to take your finances serious. And if you don't, what will end up happening is that you start taking all this money in, and you got all this money coming in from all these different areas, and you're not managing it, and it can get out of pocket real quick. So when you get to that point where you have your books in order, you have your accountant happy, you're able to dish out things. You're able to get to that point where if you're starting, like you said, your accounting business, you can really grow this, because now you're nurturing relationships. People trust you and understand, like, wait a minute, there's more value to this than just make sure my numbers are in order.
Absolutely.
So when you get to that point where you can start expanding and bringing in money to these people and allowing them to see the bigger picture, they're not just fighting the survival guide anymore. Now they're really understanding that is how you turn other people's money into other people. Other people's audience to other people's money.
It was so on point.
Edit that.
It was so on point.
I was ready. I looked.
It's all good. All right, that was another great episode.
Appreciate
very
you,
dope
brother.
episode. Very good gems. Very lot of good gems.
Make sure y'all go follow Brody too, man.
Make sure, and make sure you go follow our Instagram, and make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell to the video as well. All right, please, peace.
The
Oh shit.